Well, this
is what I'm currently thinking, that if I arrive at a success story, for example, with leprosy, we will be able to contribute to solving many, many other serious problems that exist in the international community. Therefore, my way of fighting to eliminate leprosy is the way I have chosen. For example, it has also been the way I have applied to solving the issues of the Malaccan-Singapore Straits. That we will gather together all the stakeholders in the private sector to really establish this international mechanism, or come out with my long list of activities with leprosy-affected people. I firmly believe that the problems that mankind has created should be and can be solved by man ourselves. This is how we solve that problem. And therefore, when a success story is created, it can become a case study to apply to other international problems.
I think you're very right. What you're doing is really setting an example. And beyond leprosy, beyond maritime issues, what, as chairman of the Nippon Foundation, are your interests? Say, what will be the projects of the Nippon Foundation for the next years to come?
Well, our foundation is involved in a wide area of activities. Today, we have just spoken about 2 issues, but other activities are varied as well. What we do, for example, we believe that whoever, wherever we are, every person should have 3 good meals a day. And this is very important. I myself have experienced World War II and the days after World War II. And therefore I have experienced going without food for a month. When a man does not eat, of course, laws, regulations start not to function. And therefore I feel it's very important for each member of society to have access to 3 good meals a day. So, starting from that concept, I have been involved in helping people increase their food production. And especially, I have been teaching poor farmers how to increase productivity for over 20 years already. For example, in Vietnam, in Cambodia, we have also taught them how to produce cassava. We have also been involved very heavily in the increased food production in African countries. That is another area. The second area that I have not mentioned in our interview today is the area of public health. I feel that there are many, many people who are suffering from different diseases and the aftermath of these diseases. And I feel that it's just as important that we help those people in the public health arena. Of course, there's another very major issue that we are involved in globally, and that's the development of human resources. We have been helping and contributing to building primary schools and all the way up to contributing to the development of education in the doctoral programs throughout the world. Of course, this involves a different sector of the people we are helping in the doctorate program, but it involves all different sectors of our society today. I feel that with good human resources development, a country can become independent, can become peaceful, and become very stable. And therefore, it is very important that we educate and develop human resources. I believe that any country that keeps on depending on overseas aid will not be able to build a country of which they can be proud. And I feel that to have good human resources in each country will contribute to developing a country that a person can be proud of. And therefore, we have put a lot of effort into education, and I am committed to dedicating the rest of my life towards these activities. May I just add one more activity that we are carrying out? When you really look closely at our society and the world together, there are things that we tend not to see, and things that we tend to miss. And what I want to talk to you about is our activities, especially in Southeast Asian countries, with deaf people. We are now involved in educating deaf people. And of course, there are no dictionaries that are available to deaf people. In other words, there are really no sign language dictionaries that can be called dictionaries. Of course, it is a very difficult task because you have to go to each country and pick up the language, which is different throughout the world, and then put them into picture forms for the deaf people to be able to see, and make a dictionary, ultimately of sign language. Some of the dictionaries have taken us as long as 6 years to complete, because we have to go through this entire process. Another activity is that in Indonesia, we will be starting a school for people with artificial limbs. We really want to help people this way, both physically handicapped people and mentally handicapped people. But the reason why we are involved in this is because it seems that through all the international corporate activities, this is the area that tends to be forgotten, and I feel that they are the people that really need to be helped. May I just boast one thing at this point in time? Of course, we really have to look at all this work, and simply what we want to do is act as a trigger of a gun. And of course, there is a limit to the financial resources that we can provide, and therefore we are now becoming triggers. And what I mean by that is, for example, we really point out the problems that exist in different areas of our society, and we will act together with heads of government in each country so that these problems will really be knitted into the policy of each country to solve. For example, in Vietnam we have been providing education for deaf people, and for the first time there has been one deaf person accepted at the university, which means that the deaf education is now well knitted into the policy of that country. I feel we need to stimulate governments so that they really involve all these solutions in their national policies, and unless we do that, I don't think we'll be able to succeed.
In your many visits to India, did you ever come across Mother Teresa? Because she's doing the same thing as same thing as you did.
Well, I think our activities are a little bit different, because Mother Teresa was a wonderful woman, and she was acting through religious approaches. In 1985, I interviewed Madame Indira Gandhi, and I even visited Mother Teresa's hospital. And I feel to do good work is very, very important in whatever approach you take. But I feel that everything that is done must really involve the government as well. It must really have the support of the policy of each government, and especially the public health area. Of course, it is not enough that we, as NGOs, act to solve this issue. We must involve the governments of each country to really feel the importance in solving this issue and make it part of their policy for anything to really work. And therefore, I've been visiting these countries many, many times. It is not easy, and that's really the problem, is that you have to keep repeatedly approaching the heads of governments.
You put me to shame. I haven't done as much charity work as I should, judging from what you have done. So what you've told us today has been enlightening and inspiring. So thank you very much for your time, and we wish you all the best in everything that you do.
Well, I should be the one really thanking you, because you, as a woman who has so much influence on our society, sat down, sparing your time to listen to my talk. If you had become someone who has really understood my activities, then there is really no greater honor.